Imagine waking up in the morning, looking at the sky and suddenly realizing the sun has vanished. Just 24 hours without the sun would be enough to completely change life as we know it. In the very first moment, the entire world would fall into complete darkness. We would see the moon and the stars more clearly than ever before, but the feeling would be strange and terrifying. Because deep down we know it's supposed to be daytime. After only a few hours, temperatures would begin to drop quickly. Without sunlight, Earth wouldn't be able to hold on to its stored warmth, and soon cold would spread everywhere. Plants would be the first to suffer, as photosynthesis would stop immediately. Animals would also be thrown into confusion since their routines depend entirely on the cycle of day and night. Humans wouldn't be any better. Cities would light up constantly, but no matter what they do, they could never replace the presence of the sun. Fear and panic would spread among people because for us, the sun isn't just light and heat, it's the very symbol of safety and life itself. And after 24 hours, if the sun returned, Earth might slowly recover. But the memory of that terrifying day would never leave humanity. And if the sun never came back, life on Earth would collapse quickly. The sun is not just a star in the sky, the sun is the reason we exist in the first place, and losing it, even for one day, shows us just how fragile our lives really are, depending entirely on one incredible gift, a gift we don't always appreciate. But let's dive deeper into the details. If the sun disappeared for 24 hours, it wouldn't just be darkness and cold that affect us. The oceans, for example, would quickly begin to lose part of their stored heat, and the surface waters would cool noticeably. This could trigger disturbances in wind patterns and ocean waves, as if the Earth itself were breathing in a troubled rhythm. For humans, the absence of the sun wouldn't only affect their bodies but also their minds. Our bodies are programmed to respond to natural daylight, and our biological clock depends on the cycle of sunrise and sunset. Without the sun, that clock would be thrown into chaos. People would begin to experience headaches, fatigue, and even anxiety or stress without knowing why. Nocturnal animals like owls and wolves would take advantage of the endless night, moving more freely and creating an imbalance in ecosystems. Even if this lasted for just one day, the behavior of many animals would be disrupted. In cities, the dependence on electricity would skyrocket. Factories, homes, and streets would all require continuous lighting. This massive demand could overwhelm power grids, leading to frequent blackouts in some regions. And at a certain point, people would begin to wonder, is this the beginning of the end? Has the sun vanished forever? Or is it simply a natural test that we must endure? But if the sun returned exactly after 24 hours, everything would slowly start to heal. Plants would revive, animals would attempt to adapt again, and humans would forever remember the day the sun disappeared. A terrifying day, but one that would teach us to truly value the fact that the sun is not a luxury. It is the foundation of our existence. Now imagine if this actually happened. The news would explode worldwide. TV channels, social media, and websites would all be reporting about the sun's disappearance. Headlines would read, "The day the sun vanished," or "A cosmic catastrophe threatens Earth." The panic wouldn't only come from the darkness itself, but also from ignorance, because ordinary people wouldn't have any clear explanation. Scientists and astronomers would rush to explain the effects of losing the sun, reminding everyone that our entire planet depends on it for everything. From the temperature of the air, to the movement of water, to the very oxygen we breathe. At the same time, conspiracy theories would spread like wildfire. Some would claim it's divine punishment for humanity, while others would believe a cosmic event, like a black hole, is approaching Earth. Psychologically, this day would be a brutal test for humanity. People who are used to their daily routine of morning and night would suddenly find themselves trapped in an endless night. Children would fall into hysterical fear, while adults would see it as a sign of the end of the world. Another major impact would be on the economy. Stock markets and global trade could collapse within hours, because any threat to the sun means a direct threat to life and production. Power companies would face a massive crisis trying to supply energy, and fuel would be consumed faster than ever before. And let me tell you this, even if the sun disappeared for just one single day, the memory of it would remain in humanity's collective mind for centuries. Humans always look for safety in the things that seem permanent. And for us, the sun has always been the most permanent thing in the universe. One day without it would be enough to make every single person rethink their own existence and the meaning of life itself. And if we imagine for a moment that the sun didn't return after those 24 hours, Then the situation would shift from a terrifying one-day event to a true catastrophe threatening all life. Within just a single week, most regions of Earth would be covered in ice and temperatures would fall to deadly levels. Plants would die, animals would gradually disappear, and humans would desperately try to survive underground or rely on alternative sources of energy and heat. But the truth is, it would be a losing battle. The absence of the sun means Earth would lose its only true source of light and warmth, and there is no replacement that could ever take its place. In the end, the planet we know, with all its history, culture, and civilizations, would vanish along with the sun. But the beautiful part of this story is that the sun is still here, still shining on our lives every single day. This scenario is just imagination, but it reminds us that the simplest thing we take for granted, like the sunrise, is actually the greatest blessing in our lives. So the next time you see the sun rising in the sky, remember, its very presence above you is the miracle that allows you to exist. If you think about it for a moment, you'll realize that our entire existence depends on a very delicate balance. The sun is positioned at exactly the right distance from Earth, not too close to burn us and not too far to freeze us. Even the smallest change in this equation could have prevented life from ever existing. This shows us that our very existence is nothing short of a miracle. And it also means that our role isn't just to live and consume, but to protect the planet that has given us this chance at life. The sun may continue to shine for billions of years to come, but the real question is, will we be wise enough to live in peace, with each other, and with our planet? If we look at the universe around us, we'll find that the sun is just one star among billions. For the galaxy, the sun is just a tiny dot. But for us, it's everything. It defines day and night, it warms the earth and gives it life, and without it we wouldn't see a single plant grow or a drop of water flow. And that makes us wonder, if the sun, which we see as the greatest and strongest source of energy, is just an ordinary star in a giant galaxy, then how many secrets are still hidden in this universe that we don't know about? The night when the sun disappears, even if only in our imagination, reminds us how small and fragile humans are compared to the power of the universe. We might argue and fight over small things, but in the end, our very existence depends on one body in the sky. If it were to vanish for just a moment, everything would end. Maybe the real message of this thought experiment isn't only to fear losing the sun, but to learn humility, to realize that our lives are too precious to waste on meaningless conflicts. And in the end, the sun rises on us every day without us asking, without us paying, without any interference from us. Its mere presence is enough to prove that life is a great gift. The real question is, do we truly value this gift, or do we take it for granted? The truth is, the sun reminds us every day that life is much simpler than we think. It doesn't need complications or conflicts. It only needs us to open our eyes and see the light around us. One day it might disappear, but as long as it rises, we still have a chance to live, to love, and to make a change. And in the end, perhaps the greatest lesson the sun gives us is that after every sunset, there is always a new sunrise.